we see the P set for specifications. And so properties for specifications, these are simply the information required to specify that door on a project. If we go down to line 103, scroll down, we're looking at the P set for warranty, and this is the Kobe warranty information that we've added in the spreadsheet so that this information, when exported, can be read and are understood in the Kobe language as well. And then last, I just want to look at one other property set. Again, we're not covering every single property set, just wanted to go over a few. If we take a look at the property set for Revit, these are proprietary properties that we've added to the objects so that we can ensure that the quality of the information translated during the Autodesk to IFC export is useful. So now directly below this area here, which just kind of talks about the ownership, directly below this area we're looking at another green area, which means we can edit that, and this is titled additional properties. Basically these fields were provided to allow you to add any properties you feel were not included in the above listing. To make sure that these properties, if you add anything, just to make sure that they get grouped correctly, we'd like for you to include the same information as listed in the preset property. So again, we're looking at we'll need a property name, property description and allowed values, and property value, and any comments you have to kind of further help expand on the additional properties that you've added. Again, comments are helpful, but even more so here to help us understand the purpose and overall requirements of these additional properties. So please be sure to include comments there. And like I said, that will help us tremendously. And so below the additional properties, we come to a property set which is called PSET Sustainability US. So these are property sets that we developed for an earlier project for the Army, and these the properties listed here primarily pertain to the Army's requirements for sustainability. And some common properties, sustainability properties, may not be listed here. So again, the comment section for the sustainability properties and additional properties area are colored in blue. So again, these are fields that can be edited. So if you feel that something else needs to be added, just the same as above in the preset properties, please indicate that in the appropriate fields. Okay, and so that's kind of a brief overview of the properties in these templates. And again, what we're covering in this one template for doors applies to all templates, so it should be pretty standard across the board in terms of the information and how to go about filling that out. One of the things that we wanted to make sure is noted here is that all these properties that are listed in the spreadsheet, I'm just going to scroll up to the standard ones, but all of these properties were previously identified as properties that could be applied to these objects. But again, if you think a property doesn't apply, then just note that in the reviewer comments column, which is column D, as we looked at earlier. Note that in this field here, and just provide a note on why and if it should be replaced with another property. Again, this is just going to help make these templates that much more useful in the long run if we can kind of make sure that we do have all applicable information for the different objects and properties. If you're taking a look at several different templates, for example, there's I believe around 31 door templates for the different door types. If you're taking a look at those and after 2 or 3 you notice hey, there's a whole range of information that should be applied to all doors, but it's missing from these templates, what we suggest you do, as opposed to filling out each of the 31 templates, adding the same notes each of the 31 templates, is just to create a Word document. And in that Word document, we just ask that you do the same thing as we suggested for adding additional properties, which would be to just include a column for property name, property description and allowed values, property values, and reviewer comments. Just put that in a Word document and list those properties once. And what we'll do is go into the templates and add that information, so that it will be in all the necessary templates, and that just keeps you from having to do this multiple times. So one other thing I wanted to take a look at is just an example template, and this is one that Mark Kalin had previously filled out for us, and as you can see, he's included his name, email address. But I just want to scroll down to one of the sections where he included some comments, and as we can see here, he noted on line item 28 we have, which was the property name for thickness, he indicated that we would also need a property for door core material and construction. See, these types of comments are helpful because that's going to help us to expand on what's here, and also make sure that the properties that product manufacturers want to see are here, so that they can be filled out accordingly. And then, like I said, as you can see, he has other comments about also needing exterior materials for the doors. So again, these are good comments, and as I mentioned earlier, the comments are going to be more helpful when they kind of describe or give us more input as to what should be included, so that we can get that updated, and we're not guessing, because again, we understand that the reviewers are the experts on the materials, and your input is going to be extremely helpful. So after you've finished updating a spreadsheet, what we'd like for you to do is, if you go into, and just on the instructions, this has the information here, but what we're asking you to do is do a save as and rename the file, and just include your initials in that file name, and the instructions here just say your initials and an underscore to the front of the file name. And if you do that, that's going to allow us to quickly look at it in the folder and know who was responsible for reviewing that. We understand that your name is also going to be here, but this will just help us in not having to open a file to find out who was the reviewer. So it's just a quick visual thing in the folder itself. One other item I just want to briefly go back over. We did mention in the comments here about wanting to have you just initial or OK in the comment section each of the line items. If you didn't have a comment, if you put OK in there, that's just letting us know that you did review it, including OK in that field. Each of the fields that you take a look at would help us out in just knowing that someone has looked at this and is in agreement with what's there. So that's the end of the presentation, and that's really the extent of what it's going to take to complete the spreadsheet. So thanks for your time.